What is up, everybody? Alex here from Heavy New York. We got another awesome interview, our first post-show interview. Right now, as we're speaking, Lorna Shore is freaking destroying Webster Hall at Summer Slaughter 2017. We got Angelmaker, who just totally pre-gamed everybody. I think there's a couple good broken noses in the mosh pit right now. So, first off and foremost, Dissension is the latest record. And how's the record cycle been so far being on Summer Slaughter?
Pretty insane, man. I mean, when we wrote the album, we didn't really expect it to kind of blow up like it did, and I mean, ever since then, everything's been been pretty insane for us so far. So, yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely like far beyond our expectations. Like we were just doing this as more or less a hobby, and it's turned into what it is now, which is like almost a career at this point.
Awesome. Yeah, and we really had no expectations on how Dissension was gonna come out and release. You know, like in terms of the critical acclaim, and it's really cool seeing how positive everybody's opinions have been towards it.
It's awesome. Yeah, and I mean, you guys totally killed it because you appealed. You guys have like an old school death metal sound, which I liked. Like I could see you totally playing with like a Morbid Angel or Nile or something like that.
That'd be crazy.
But you definitely just got the hardcore dancers ready for Betraying the Martyrs and all those guys. So were you like looking at bands? Like I know you got the good old Carnifex shirt on and stuff like that. But were you like looking at bands like trying? I don't want to say trying to be like, but were you like looking at bands like Whitechapel more or less, or like classic death metal sound?
I think our, derivative sound definitely comes from bands like Whitechapel, Carnifex, Suicide Silence, like all that early stuff, Rose Funeral and Suffocate and bands like that. But we also tried to take what they had and put our own twist on it and kind of try to break the mold, I guess, of what is now the current deathcore scene. And try to make our own little twist on it, keep it a little bit more melodic and hardcore and some black metal in there with our death metal, so keeps it all fresh.
Gotta break out the corpse paint.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like I like to look at it as like a cake. Instead of just having a strawberry shortcake, you got yourself a strawberry, peach, raspberry shortcake, maybe a tall cake. I don't know, but it's a fucking big ass cake.
Actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we all have like different influences as far as where our metal influences began. So, I mean, for me, I like a lot of shredding and stuff. So like early Metallica stuff, and I mean, like all that kind of stuff was a huge influence for me, and I try to apply that into the band. And like everyone else has different influences that we try to work on, and create something hopefully that everyone likes. Yeah.
Exactly. Now, for those of you who don't know, Matt here actually is also currently playing with Threat Signal. So, with like playing with like Threat Signal and stuff like that, like because Threat Signal is very different from what from what Angelmaker is.
Yeah.
So like, how different of a mind frame is it in terms of end playing process? I'd imagine you tuned your guitar a lot lower for this.
Yeah, I mean, for this band, I only use 7 strings. For Threat Signal, I use 6 and 7s, but it's like a completely different tuning. But yeah, I mean, as far as like the playing goes, I feel like with a lot of the Threat Signal stuff, it's really technical, and you kind of have to concentrate a lot more. Whereas Angelmaker, since I like wrote a lot of the stuff, I'm more confident in playing it live, I guess you could say. Whereas Threat Signal, it's like super technical, and you have to really be precise with everything. And I mean, still love playing the stuff there, but it's like a completely different process playing it live. So yeah.
And having Matt here, did maybe his time in Threat Signal allow you to incorporate additional elements before?
Definitely. Previous to having Matt in the band, we definitely didn't have a lot of like solo sections or like gnarly kind of tapping and shredding sections. It was a lot more straight, just riffs and breakdowns. And having Matt in the band has definitely upped our game to a whole nother level.
Yeah. And now you guys are also from Canada, home of the one and only Devin Townsend, Threat Signal, The Agonist, Despise Icons, so many awesome bands. So like, I'm just curious. I mean, I know Canada is like the second largest country in the world, but like, because there's so many awesome bands there, was that maybe easier to like network, spread your name out in the scene a little bit?
I feel like, honestly, when we first started out, there wasn't a lot going on over on the west coast of Canada. There's a lot going on in the east constantly, but there was a few bands we looked up to in the west, like 3 Inches of Blood, and Arcspire is doing really well as well. But it was kind of like we were not first, but it was hard to break the mold at first. being like the first core band kind of out the west that is making a name for ourselves. But we definitely have a lot of big bands to look up to from Canada that helps us, you know, have this idea that this goal could become a reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, out, as he said, out on the East Coast, it's huge, but on the West Coast, it's something that we've really had to like dig in our heels and work for, because like when we played shows when we first started out, the bands we were playing with weren't really similar to us, so it was hard to draw a crowd sometimes. But like we've built our way up, and now like it seems to be quite the popular thing over there.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, I haven't been there since the beginning, but like since Dissentient, I've definitely noticed a lot more growth within the band, and I mean, just playing the shows when I first joined compared to now, it's kind of crazy to see the growth. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I can definitely see how it could be hard, like starting out and playing with other bands that totally don't even fit you. Like I've been in that position before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, from Canada and two vocalists, I mean, like almost kind of like a descendant of Despise Icon in a way.
Yeah.
Like, but like in terms of having two vocalists, you know, there's a lot of bands of all different styles that have different vocalists. Lacuna Coil for one, and then Despise Icon, We Came as Romans, bands like that. So like, when having two vocalists, how do you kind of like distinguish who sings what part and stuff like that?
You know, Casey and I try to keep everything very balanced between ourselves, and we like to work together in terms of the writing process instead of just being like, this is my section, this is your section. We kind of try to amalgamate both our styles together and work them seamlessly between ourselves. Sometimes, you know, like there's certain sections where it's like, oh, maybe my vocals will suit a little bit more than his, and his vice versa. But for the most part, we kind of just try to keep it open to everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like as you said, we keep it like pretty 50-50 most of the time, and we'll like sit down and we'll see what flows the best. Like we'll write both like our own pretty much entire songs, and we'll mold them together, and we'll like discuss the like the content and the topic of the song, and like what we want it to be about. And we have this very like shared vision, and like it's a very humbling process to do, because like it's takes away a lot of the selfishness I find when writing like my own stuff, or when other people write their own stuff. Not necessarily selfish, but like you have to be humble and share your vision.
Of course.
Mhm.
Of course. So finally, first of all, I want to say that you guys absolutely killed it.
Thank
like
you, man, so
totally.
much, really.
You know, my back is still hurting from when I fell in the pit. But you know, Dissension's out. Summer Slaughter is going around till August. So do you guys have anything planned afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, we're currently in the process of writing another album. We're just in the writing stages right now, but I mean, it's going well, and hopefully this next album will be, you know, the biggest thing we ever do, to the like where we're at right now, obviously. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you know, something that we've all kind of worked on together, and we're kind of more comfortable with each other when writing, and kind of found almost like our style now. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
you want to plug or promote?
Just be on the lookout. After we finish Summer Slaughter here, we're going to be writing our new album. We got a lot of new merch coming out, some videos of sorts, and next year is going to be a big year for us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Looking forward. I hope you guys come back.
Cool, man.
Everybody, we got Angelmaker. Be sure to pick up their latest record, Dissension, and be on the lookout for their new record. And when you do see these guys live, you do not want to miss them. Just wear a mouthpiece.